Hello guys, welcome back to New Who HQ. I am Matt. Interesting. The Devil's Chord, Season 1, Episode 2 of Ncuti Gatwa's first series as the Doctor. Where the hell do I start with this? Overall thoughts. I like this. This is the best episode of Ncuti Gatwa so far. Better than Space Babies and better than The Church on Ruby Road. I was very aware that a musical number was coming in somewhere, with the Beatles being announced, etc. Bits of the music video at the end of the episode being shown in the trailer, so I was very aware. Now, I'm not a fan of musicals, but I will let this slide as long as this doesn't become too much recurring. This is now the second time since Christmas, but yeah. I didn't mind it, and it was quite a fitting way to end the episode because it's all about music, so of course you're going to end with a little bit of a music video at the end. Let's talk about Maestro, Jinx Monsoon. They're amazing. They're absolutely amazing. I wasn't expecting them to come in so quickly in the episode, and I think that made it better throughout because we got a lot of time with them and we really got to see truly how evil they are, but in such a different way, stealing music so everybody goes sour. And I didn't really think about it. The music is quite an important thing. I listen to music daily on my headphones. If I didn't have that, yeah, it'd be a little bit, well, I don't think it would like impact me so the world would end, and maybe that's a bit dramatised there, but I definitely feel like there would be issues if we didn't have music. So its plot is an idea that is very original, never really heard of it before, nor ever thought of it, so I quite like that. And Maestro, as I said, brings a great presence and a fantastic sort of dynamic between you know, the Doctor and Ruby. To be quite honest with you, throughout the episode there are iconic moments that the Maestro brings. When Maestro calls the Toymaker Daddy, was that hinted at Neil Patrick Harris? Because they're not wrong, but anyway, I'm getting off track. Sort of playing around and laughing and quite sort of menacing, and then they turn into like shouting, like feels like an eagle going over you. I love the tone changes so quickly, and this feels like a really, really good villain, and the whole theory about Maestro as the Master is obviously definitely not the case, because the Maestro does meet their end at the end of the episode, so we know. So yeah, in terms of Maestro the character, really, really like them. It's something different, which I like, and for someone that doesn't like musicals, that's quite a big positive for me. I love when we get a bit of continuity, so obviously in the giggle, the Toymaker said my legions are coming, and this was one of the legions, or is this the legion? I'm not quite sure, because there are a few issues to why I hope that this doesn't continue, as much as I really do like it here. I'm glad that we didn't have to wait so long before we finally got, well, we finally got who the legion was, but the Toymaker did say the legions, so that obviously could mean more than one. Another thing I really like is the way the Doctor is so scared. He is so vulnerable. Now, honestly, I like to see the Doctor vulnerable because it makes it more interesting. I hate it when the Doctor comes in and fixes it just like that. That wasn't the thing here. You can't mess with these gods, and he makes that very well known, that you simply cannot beat this thing. You cannot beat the Legion, you cannot beat the Toymaker, and it's all about luck. He beat the Toymaker for a game of catch. You only get one chance of things, one bit of luck, and that makes it incredibly hard to beat and to stand up against Maestro, the Toymaker, the legions, the gods. Raises the stakes quite high. Now, I've always said that Russell T Davies is known for raising the stakes, and putting such on paper, a massive figure which has got so much power, for it to be defeated in one episode, it's a bit like, I know like we got to move on from the Maestro, move on to new episodes, but it's like, I have a problem with how Russell builds up characters and then is quite easy to beat them. I understand that it very much makes sense that Maestro was brought in because of a certain thing that's played, a certain chords that are played on the piano, so a way to defeat them is to play certain chords on the piano to reverse that. That is fair enough. And you could say that maybe sometimes they are so powerful that they do slip up on the tiniest of things, which is like a chord or a game of catch, for example. So I get why, you know, that could actually be kind of, you could look at it that way, but yeah. The One Who Waits. Still don't know who that is. He, she, they, we have absolutely no idea. And that is exciting me still. I'm glad that we get a reminder as the maestro is about to be sucked back into the piano, and we get, you know, yeah, The One Who Waits is still coming. Don't forget about it. So that's really, really exciting. We sort of we don't really touch upon as much on Ruby's story. I mean, Ruby is still very, very important in this. There's a bit where she visits 2024 on what Earth would look like nowadays if the maestro's plans go through back in the 60s. I think 60s, isn't it? Yeah, 60s. So that was a really emotional moment. As I said, the Doctor, yeah, I'm going to get into the Doctor in a second, but I think Ruby, I'm really, really warming to Ruby. She honestly doesn't really feel like Rose. I feel like a lot of people are comparing her to Rose. She feels brand new. She feels like her own character. Like, you know, you could compare her sometime, you know, in some parts to other companions, but I think most of all she feels really original, really fresh, and you know, she's a very, very young actress. She's younger than me. Wow. So I think she's younger than me. She's same age as me. Either way, it's pretty young, so to have that responsibility on your hands, to be a Doctor Who companion, you know, she came out of Coronation Street, so to go from Coronation Street to Doctor Who is quite a big jump. No offence to Coronation Street fans. But, so I think she handles it really, really well, and I've heard some theories that maybe she's not real, she's just a fairy tale. That could maybe be something. There's a lot, yeah. Also in the cafe when the lady hands the Doctor a cup of tea, was that the woman that's literally been in every single episode since he's come in secretly? Or am I now just seeing things? I thought I was going to keep my eye out. You know who I mean, the older woman. I'll put a picture on the screen. Yeah, that's the same woman, is it? I'm not quite sure. Anyway, in terms of the musical number itself, as I said, I've not got too much to say because I'm not a fan of musicals, but there's always a twist at the end. I like that. It might be hinting at something. Yeah, it was alright. I know it was like referencing other musicals. Sorry, I don't watch musicals, so I don't know what they were, but I've read other people's thoughts and they've been saying that, oh yeah, it's referencing this musical, and I'm like, okay. So yeah, it was alright, I guess. Oh, the opening titles. Yeah, it gave me Peter Capaldi vibes in the second part of Under the Lake. Is it Before the Flood, I think, the episode where his guitar is playing and this was like through the piano. I love that. Loved it so much. I loved how it mixed in. It mixed in really, really well with the normal titles, and then it ended with the jukebox playing out the rest of it. I like it when something new is tried and it bloody well paid off. Susan was mentioned as well. Yeah, I'm not gonna, you know, not talk about that. I haven't watched all of First Doctor's era, so I'm not still very knowledgeable on Susan, but I'm aware of who she is, the Doctor's granddaughter. I like how that's just pointed out. I thought Doctor Who wouldn't do that, so how timey-wimey it is and like ripping a hole in the universe or whatever. But that was quite nice. Susan twist. Are people putting two and two things together here? Or am I just making 5? Or maybe I'm making 4, maybe that is linked. Also visually, quick shout out to the visuals. I pointed it out in Space Babies, amazing, apart from the CGI, the babies talking, but amazing. With the bit that got me was seeing the world in 2024 when Ruby and the Doctor visited it. That was really, looked very, very good. Loved it. Dark and gloomy and it made you feel a bit depressed looking at it as well. And the reasons felt valid. It wasn't like... The thing is, with stories like this, things can become far-fetched very, very quickly. I can understand why some people would find things a little bit maybe silly, but I think everything that happened was in good reason. I think the consequences were not too far-fetched. I think it was, yeah, it was good reason and it felt right. And of course, last but not least, the giggle. I mean, this was kind of at the start of the episode, but I mean, the giggles, little giggle when it was coming out the piano. Loved that, and you just saw the Doctor knew straight away we have to get away. That giggle now resembles so much the Doctor in a nightmare. It's a nightmare to hear that giggle now. And yeah, also Maestro is really, really scary. I just want to point out, like, I did get a little bit scared by like how they just lunged at people, just as I said, raising their voice. So that was, yeah, it was amazing. My review out of 10, this gets a solid 8.2 out of 10, and my last Space Baby's got 6.5, so it is definitely the best episode of Season 1 and of Ncuti Gatwa's era so far. I'm very excited now, and I'm very much ready. Got to wait a week, but there'll be plenty more things coming up on here. I'm going to be talking about who the one who waits is, that woman that keeps popping up. There's going to be a lot. So yeah, if you're new to the channel, please just subscribe, give this video a like, and I'll see you all very, very soon.